Hey, Steph, Nicole, Kaylee. Okay, so this session tonight is going to be different than our other ones because we're going to do an exercise live together. So make sure you have pen and paper. And the goal tonight is you've been working on a little bit of clarity, just some dreaming, moving forward, positive thinking, all those things. And we're going to really narrow it down tonight so that you know what your main focus is for yourself. That's going to be super, it'll really bring some clarity too. But first, I know I've talked to some of you privately, some good moments over the past week, any wins or successes that you feel, something you accomplished over the week, something you feel good about. Anyone want to share anything good?
I feel good about just focusing in on a couple of different things and running my life around that instead. And that feels pretty good. I don't feel so chaotic, like I have to do everything.
It's like you're in charge, you're in control, you're in the driver's seat as opposed to, you know what I mean? It's sometimes like a mental shift of like, I'm focusing on this, I'm not on this roller coaster. You know, when we shift our mindset to, I got this is my focus, this is my direction, it does help a lot. That's a good thing. Anyone else got any wins? Good things?
So that had to, but it was a good timing. Set some boundaries with a coworker at work. That's because awesome. I got my thing. I'm doing my thing, and I know what I'm supposed to be doing. So
good for you, because that's really hard to do.
It was very hard, and I probably should have done it a lot earlier, but it finally just got to a point where it's like, I'm just not happy when I knew I had to meet with her because she wants to help, but she gets too pushy, and it's like, back off. So, and as soon as I did it, it was just like this whole relief of things. So
that's awesome. So you feel good. It's a relief. It's hard. It's like that. It's like fear. It's like you have this thing built up in your head, and then you do it, and then it's like, oh, it's no big deal. I can do this.
Yeah.
Sometimes we got to do those hard things and then realize, oh, I can handle that, you know? So that's good. Anyone else? Christy?
I had a very successful end of the week last week with my business. So that was good. It was just really helpful to like kind of launch me back into that.
What's shifted in your mindset that's brought you to this place? Because this is a big change. Your business, you like all of a sudden lit a fire. Christy all of a sudden just blew it out of the water in July for her business. And this has been something, if you don't mind me saying, Christy, that you've been kind of like struggling with getting your mindset in the right place. And all of a sudden you're like, bam.
Yeah, I guess it was just like Sarah and I had been talking, and it was like, she's like, you need to find what makes you happy and where you find joy in this business. And honestly, it was when I like dialed back in on my nutrition and like I was seeing results, and I wanted to share that. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what brought me in the first place. So yeah, I think that's
some good clarity, recognizing that you have to focus on yourself, and that that's where your passion started. When you did the very first time, you got some great success, you felt really excited, and now it got you back excited again, just feeling good about yourself and taking care of your body and all that stuff. So that's awesome.
Oh, that's
good.
Tough.
So that's even giving you some clarity about, like, that you need to prioritize yourself. Mm-hmm. Take care of yourself. And I still think that we can still have the treats, even if we're dialing things in. Because I know that that's been something I've said to myself, like, well, I'm not going to restrict my life just because I want to, but you still can, it doesn't mean you're not going to eat those things. But
I think it just happens naturally.
Yeah.
After you're focusing on the nutrition and stuff, you just want things in a different way, or less of one and more of another.
Right. And then when you do have a treat, you intentionally choose to have it, as opposed to, I find that when I'm not eating healthy, I'm just eating it and I'm not really enjoying it as much because it's just like whatever. Then as opposed to, like, I am excited to go have this flurry, like that's probably my favorite treat, to go get like a concrete mixer or something at Culver's. And I can really enjoy it when I'm like, and as opposed to just randomly getting it every whenever.
Yep.
Too frequently. We've spent a lot of money at Culver's, I'll just say that, because we have one right by our house.
Uh-huh.
We're frequenters just for the ice cream. All right, Stephanie or Kaylee, do you have anything you want to share? If you don't, that's fine, but if you do, you can.
Yeah, I mean, this week was just like, it was just wacky. but we did get, we're going to be finishing our basement. So our basement was a complete disaster. So we're not done yet, but it does feel good to kind of get some of that done. But right now I'm just tired from it. We're just exhausted from it.
But there's something to be said about something like you've been putting off, and then you feel accomplished when you do something that's just like been hanging over your head. And
I think they'll feel that way when it's totally done. Like I have my moments where I like look and be like, oh, look how far we've gotten. And then I'm like, okay, but we're not there yet.
Step by step. So, okay. All right, so I have a few things I want to share, and then we're going to go into this like activity together. We'll do it together. Tell me what you think about this statement and what it means to you. Clarity comes from engage. Mama, can I go on your phone? Sure, take it. Bye-bye. Greg's not home. He's baseball with the boys. So the statement, clarity comes from engagement, not thought. What does that mean to you guys? Hold on, let me shut the door. Clarity comes from engagement, not thought.
I think just do it. Something you said last week that you were talking about, just do it. Quit thinking about it and just do it.
Yes.
That really stuck with me this week, and I've done a lot more things because of that. It's kind of in the back of my mind, oh, just do it. Otherwise, I'm going to sit here and think about it for the next 2 hours when I could have just done it and been done.
Well, and I think a lot of people get stuck in the planning phase of doing things. And then, oh, I've got to do this first. I've got to do this first. Just do it. You figure out the stuff along the way, right? We figure it out. We actually learn more. That's where clarity comes from engagement. You get more clarity once you do it, whether or not it's a direction you want to go in. Absolutely. So just do it. It's kind of like that, the 5-second, what's it called? 5-second rule?
5-second rule. Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, yeah. So sometimes when you go back and forth on a decision, you know, we talked about that activity I gave you guys last night, or that exercise you could try whenever you're hemming and hawing on something. What happens is when you're thinking about something and you're going back and forth, it kind of paralyzes you. And sometimes you just really need to try it. If it's something you truly can't decide on, you've got to try it. You've got to do it. You got to give it a good college try. And then if it's something you're like, doesn't feel right, that's your clarity. You know what I mean? Or you start doing something and you're like, oh, this is awesome. Then you know, it's your clarity. So I just want to, you know, a takeaway right now is just like, if you're really get stuck, when you get those stuck things, just do it. Just go through it. Just like you, Melissa, you went and you set those boundaries with and gosh, it probably, first of all, give you clarity that you can do that and you can set boundaries and it feels okay. It actually is really healthy, you know, as opposed to probably holding resentment for however long. And what happens if you don't, you know, kind of just do it, like Nicole said, sometimes it can lead us to feel kind of lost, a little off track. I don't know if you guys ever felt this way, or struggle with prioritizing your time, just kind of like, I'll sometimes do this, I'll sometimes do that. Same time, it kind of goes with workouts and fitness and health and nutrition too. If you're not like zeroed in on something that you want, you'll just kind of through the whole thing, right? I think we've all done that with, I just use health and fitness as an example because that's, I don't know, something I do regularly, but When I'm not zeroed in on what I want as opposed to what I don't want, then I sometimes just kind of like go through the motions. I'll do it. I'll eat healthy-ish. I'll, not work out as I should, that kind of thing. It's the same kind of thing. You just got to do it and create some clarity for yourself. So we're going to be working on that clarity today. Give me a second, I'm gonna look through my notes here. So before we do this activity, there is, have you ever, I'm sure you guys have all heard this, like if you start thinking about something, then all of a sudden you see it everywhere. Like for example,
Pregnant mamas.
yeah, yes, that's a great one. When I'm pregnant, which never gonna happen again, that's all I see everywhere, you know what I mean? Or nursing moms, like your reticular, what is it called? Reticular activating system, RAS. It's your brain's way of like zeroing in on what you're focused on. And that's the same thing with like our goals or where we want to be and all those things. So once we go through this activity, we're going to try to bring some more clarity to things. And I want to challenge you to write down your goal or write down what your focus is, even if it's, having a healthier relationship with a spouse or partner, or if it's has something to do with creating a 6-month emergency fund, that's Dave Ramsey stuff, or if it's wanting to write a book. Stephanie brought that up to me before, or if it's running a marathon. I don't know, that's on my bucket list eventually. Whatever it is, writing that goal down every day is super powerful, because what it is it's training your brain to zero in on it, and it's going to focus on that. And then that's the thing you're going to be thinking about and focusing on a more regular basis, not obsessing. So I don't want you to be worried like I don't want you to get in the obsession mode, but it's more of, what your goal is, you're focused on that, and you're not going to derail from it as frequently when you're not as clear about it, if that makes sense. So first off, I don't know if you have your notebooks for where you wrote that first day where I had you guys write down, a year from now, I would like to blah, blah, blah. First of all, I want you to, do you feel like you have a complete picture of what it looks like? Thumbs up if you think it's complete, thumbs down if you're like, not quite there yet. So in the middle. Oh, Melissa's good. Okay, Melissa's good. Everyone else is in the middle. So here's another thing that I want you to do. I want you to complete this sentence. I'm going to give you a few minutes to do this. And it's super simple sentence. And I want you to not think anything. I want you to just write whatever comes to your mind. Wouldn't it be cool if, and fill in the blank. So I'm going to give you some examples that might be, wouldn't it be cool if I didn't work on Fridays? Wouldn't it be cool if I could speak another language? Wouldn't it be cool if I started working on a book? Wouldn't it be cool if I ran a marathon? Wouldn't it be cool if I paid off all my credit card debt? I don't know, whatever. And just make like kind of as long list as you can in the next 3 minutes. All right? Okay, I'm gonna put the timer on and I'll write it down. I'll do the activity as well. All right, go. Okay, about 1 minute. All right, time's up. So now this you could do for a longer period of time, obviously. But I feel like you can get a good handful of things down. So what we're going to do now, I want you to take a look at your list and read each one to yourself silently and kind of see what emotions it evokes in you. And we're going to circle one that just gets you really, or circle as many as you like that gets you real excited. Okay, so take a few moments to do that. All right, we're gonna share. All right.
I knew it.
I knew it. You knew it. Okay, I'll go first. Wouldn't it be cool if I paid off all of our debt? Wouldn't it be cool if we could go to Hawaii and Alaska? Those are my two that I want to go. Wouldn't it be cool if I could work from home?
No.
Well, not like quarantine stuff. I'm talking about like make enough money that I could be self-employed is what I mean. And wouldn't it be cool if I had a six-pack? Not a six-pack of beer. All right, those were the four that kind of sparked a little bit in me. All right, what's one or two or three or four that sparked excitement in you? Was there one that really popped out?
I
can
did.
go. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Nicole.
To feel good about myself was, I guess, the top one. And then I said to be fit and strong, financially stable, play piano at advanced level, to work with dolphins or gorillas, chimpanzees,
Oh, wow. That's cool.
horses on a beach, to purchase land and horses on a beach, and to be fluent in Spanish and American Sign Language.
Oh, that's sweet. I have fluent in Spanish on mine too, but that's awesome. Those are some good ones. Do you feel like those are things that you can accomplish?
Yes.
Yes. All right, fantastic. Now when we look at those short lists, what's one that you think you need to focus your most energy on? One or two that you need to focus your most energy on now? Because we really want to narrow it down, because what you're going to focus, we want to focus on one thing at a time. We can't focus on like a bunch of things. You might focus a little bit on each of them, but really focus most of your energy on one. What would you say the one or two that is most important out of that list? So breaking it down again.
Feel good about self and fitness and health.
Okay. So a lot of self-care. So we're going to break that down in a minute. So that's good. And then we're going to, so you got your top tier, which are those two, and then the others that you named, they're still important. They're kind of like on the second tier. All right, Christy, go ahead.
Oh, I am. Okay. I said, wouldn't it be cool? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Wouldn't it be cool if I paid off my student loans?
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't it be cool if we bought a boat?
Ooh.
Kaylee's got me all jealous about that. Um, wouldn't it be cool if I hit 2-star by December?
Holy cow.
This is, you'll like this one. Wouldn't it be cool if I built a team and had a diamond retreat?
Yeah, I love that.
And then wouldn't it be cool if Jason was able to get his business to 6 days by the end of 2021?
Those are sweet. And those are all kind of financial / business goals.
Mm-hmm.
So those are great. And I think that really already narrows it down, financial and business goals. Like you want to, and we're going to tear that down in a few minutes. Okay. Do you guys want it? I'm not going to force you if you don't want to share, but if you want to share, let's do it. Who wants to go?
I will share.
All right.
So it's funny you say this because I think I'm crazy for saying this. So wouldn't it be cool if I ran my first marathon?
Yeah.
Owned my own house.
Nope.
Was in a healthy relationship, and made my health and fitness goals.
Sweet. Those are good. So you have 4. So if we broke it down from those 4, because that's a really nice, healthy array of goals, what would be 1 or 2 that really needs your energy right now?
Health and fitness. I'm still working on the house thing. So those are probably my 2 top priorities at this point.
I think you can do those 2 at the same time.
Mhm.
Good. All right. And that house one you've been doing a good job moving in that direction. Beth, you want to go?
Yeah, I can go. I struggled narrowing it down though, because like some of the ones I circled are important to me, but then some of the ones that are important to me didn't get circled, and then I'm like, well, wait, those are important to me too. So now I have like 6.
Well, you want to be thinking from your heart, not I should.
I know.
And this is the hard
I
thing.
know.
People think I should put this down. It's got to be just.
No, and it's not like that. Let me read to you, and then you can help me, guide me. So first, I got back to a healthy weight. The didn't work on Fridays like jumped out at me when you said it, so I wrote that one down.
I like that one too.
Wouldn't it be cool if Eric and I traveled more? So that's a good one. Wouldn't it be cool if we paid off our cars? And then the 2 that are like, that I didn't necessarily circle, but they are like big ones for me, is if I got yoga certified, and wouldn't it be cool if I hosted a women's retreat? So those are important to me, but I think that I didn't circle them because they're so scary to me that, like, even though they're exciting to me, they're scary. So that's why I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to circle those because they're scary.
Okay, so let's go through. Okay, so the fear. When we talk about the fear, we talked about it you weren't on the call last week, were you?
I wasn't. No, I was on a boat.
We talked a little. I know, that's awesome. Being able to decipher the fear, like I shouldn't do this, or the fear that this is more like it's just, it's a big goal. You know what I mean? So being able to decipher the 2, and being able.
I don't think it's a fear I shouldn't do it. It's more of, am I going to be any good at it?
Okay, so it still sparks excitement, but there's a fear piece to it. Is that kind of what's going on here?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So what is the worst? Let's go through this really quick. What's the worst thing that could happen if you went?
Oh, I don't have any big worst things. The worst things are like stupid. They're like,
No, there's nothing.
oh, I would fail, or oh, yeah. I mean, there isn't like a catastrophic worst thing that could happen with mine.
What's the best thing that could happen if you went through with it?
I mean, that would feel awesome.
It would feel amazing, yeah. You would feel a sense of pride that you put this together. You would feel a sense of accomplishment. You would probably feel empowered because you're helping a lot of women. You'd feel a lot of things. So that fear is strong, even though you know the worst thing that could happen is that it doesn't pull together quite right. Maybe.
Yeah.
And then what's the worst thing that could happen if it didn't kind of pull together quite right? What would happen then?
I would just feel like a failure again.
Okay, so it would be the self-defeating thought pattern that you would have. Okay, so that's the worst thing. And that's pretty scary.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So I want to challenge you to move towards the little bit of the scary goals a little bit. You can still work on your health and fitness and the traveling and all that cool stuff too.
Yeah.
But imagine, okay, so let's put it this way. Looking at all those goals, if you accomplished one of them, which one would bring you the most exhilaration? Being super fit, traveling with Eric, putting together this really cool retreat. I'm trying to think of the other ones. Can't remember the other ones you said.
The yoga certified.
Yoga certified, that's
Dana.
cool too.
Probably the women's retreat.
It would bring you the most exhilaration. So I think
Yeah, because I feel like the other ones are smaller that like I'm already kind of working toward those.
you're working towards those. So I think the women's retreat is going to be your focus. You're like, I don't know, but maybe.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. All right. Well, you know, I'm not going to force you to do anything, but that's just
No, I know.
it's been in the back of your mind, and I think sometimes the fear can drive our decisions. But when we do something that feels scary and accomplish it, that's where confidence is born. Confidence is born when we do something that scares the crap out of us. And then we do it and we realize it wasn't that scary to begin with.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So just something to think about. You know, I'm not going to force you to do anything you don't want to do, but I know you've been talking about it for quite a while, a couple months at least.
Yeah.
Like you brought it up to me. It's been a
Yep.
few months maybe.
Yeah, it started with the Mel Robbins like New Year thing. That's when it was one of my little goals that I wrote. Like you had to write down your big scary goals for like however many days.
Yeah.
That's where it came to that's where I like thought of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought of it sort of before, but like that was like when it was like more real.
Right. Awesome. Kaylee, do you want to share?
Sure.
Yay!
I put, wouldn't it be cool if I could choose my own schedule and have a 4-day weekend every weekend?
Oh,
Wouldn't it be cool if I had a team of my own? Wouldn't it be cool if I had a healthy body to make a healthy baby?
oh,
And think about everything that I always wear.
yeah.
I could just put clothes on and know that it would be fine and I wouldn't have to stand in there and hate my closet.
That's not a fun feeling. It's not a fun
No.
feeling. It's that self, you know, that self stuff we put on ourselves. Which one do you feel like is the top when you look at those? What's the one that you think needs the most attention for you?
I feel like a healthy body to make a healthy baby.
Love that. That's awesome. So babies. Awesome. Okay, that's a good one. Fantastic. All right. So what we're going to do. All right. So we're going to do a quick little, you guys have probably heard this before, that top 1 or 2 things that you identified. I want you to kind of answer this question. You can free float or freestyle how you want to respond to it, but here's kind of like a series of questions to kind of get your juices going to help you identify like how important it is to you and why it's important to you. What kind of difference will it make on you and others, and why? Then you're going to answer that. Then you're going to ask yourself, why again? So why, okay, let's say it's, I want to have a healthy, I'll just do the healthy body. I want to have a healthy body. Why? Because I want to feel good when I go in my closet, for example, just because Kaylee brought that up. When I go in my closet and pick out clothes. Why? Because when I was younger, I was really hard on myself and I, started having disordered thinking. Well, why? Because I always didn't feel like I was enough. Well, why? Keep going to the why and it's going to get to the deeper why for you so that you understand the real purpose behind it. Because when we get to that deep why, then you're going to feel a little bit more passionate and understand this is the purpose behind this. This is more than just like a really cool idea. You know what I mean? All right, so let's take a few minutes. I'll say, I don't know, we'll try like 3 or 4 minutes again and see if there's some clarity. And this, I encourage you to do this, maybe spend some more time on your own too, but this might help get clarity going a little bit. So pick one of them and do the why game. Okay, about 1 more minute.
Oh.
Okay. You could go for a long time on this, but it's really going to start revealing some things. I'll show you mine. Mine's not perfect because, you know,
That's
again,
fine.
spending more time on it would help be a little bit of clarity. But I picked paying off our debt. It'd be cool if I paid off all our debt. Why would that be cool? Because I could have money to spend freely. Why is that important? Because I often feel constricted by money and I don't want to feel that way. Why is that important? Because it makes me feel tight and uncomfortable when I feel constrained. Makes me uptight, gives me anxiety. Why is that important? Because when I was younger, money wasn't spent freely. My mom and dad were very frugal. And I want my kids to have freedom and understand money. Why is that important? Because I want my kids to live their best life. Why is that important? And it doesn't make a lot of sense here. I often second guess myself. And I never felt fully accepted when I made a mistake. So a lot of it kind of comes down to, for me, just reading that, and I think I could have spent more time on that, was that money and feeling accepted were two things that kind of went hand in hand for me for some reason. A story as a child, not like a story, but like something that I learned through childhood, that I had to do things a certain way to feel accepted, as whether legit or not, was kind of a thing for me. And I want my kids to feel accepted and in control of things that they can control, like money. And I want them to be able to experience that. So anyone, this one I'm not going to force you all to share, but if you want to share, I'd love to hear if anyone wants to share their, did you come up with anything that really kind of spoke to you?
I'll share mine.
Okay, cool.
So I did the women's retreat.
Yay.
And mine's not perfect either. But okay, so what kind of difference would it make on others? And I said it would be empowering. Why? Because it would be helpful, useful to other women. Why? And mine are just like real basic whys.
Okay.
Because they would get nutrition, peace, information, fun, business leads for like the people that are actually presenting and stuff, and growth. Why? Because I would create that space. Why? Because the world, women, people need that right now. Why? Because there's pain, anxiety, hardship right now. Why? Because this would be an escape for women, or a safe space.
That's awesome.
As far as I got.
So you dug in. I could see that some layers were starting to get peeled back. That you really want to create a space for people to feel empowered and less anxiety. And so I could see that you're starting to peel away. I encourage you to keep doing that for a little bit longer, like on your own time, and see if you reveal some things for yourself too. But I think we're getting a little bit deep, a couple layers there, so that's good. That's awesome. Anyone else want to share? Again, this part is optional. I'm not gonna make you all do it unless you want. Cool.
What I chose was to feel good about myself. And so I said, what kind of difference will this make on you and others? Why? I chose to feel good about myself so that I can be my own friend and appreciate and accept myself genuinely. I feel less tight and less stressed. Why? So that I have a healthy relationships with self, and then I can have healthy relationships with others. And why? So I can teach my kids what that's about. I feel more free and safe and content. Why? Healthier relationships feel good in my mind, body, and pain. Why? Because I want, need, crave, desire this as an adult. I didn't know how dysfunctional my family truly was.
It sounds like I see a piece of like being able to show that to your kids and to move through some pain and feel safe and comforted by yourself and not being have to rely on other people
Yeah.
and have to rely on other people's opinions either. You know, that's a tough one. That's awesome. Anyone else want to share?
I'll share mine.
Oh, yay.
So I did the why would it make a difference if I had a healthy body for a healthy baby? And I put, I want to know that I've done everything that I possibly can to be healthy, to grow a healthy baby. Why? Because I've seen babies born not healthy based on their parents' decisions. Why? Because I'm a nurse and I've seen those outcomes. Also because I want my kids to grow up living healthy, but not having a bad mindset with food or their appearance. Why? Because I grew up with my mom always unhappy with her weight, and I want to raise my kids to know that they're more than their appearance. This can make me cry, sorry.
And that's a true why right there when it starts getting you emotional, because it goes deeper than just the surface right there.
And then I said, why? And I said, because I was bullied as a kid for being too skinny, but at the same time hearing my mom that she was always too fat. So I want a healthy relationship with my body image and food so that I can teach my kids that they're more than their body and their image and be healthy at the same time.
That's an awesome like way to frame your health, and that brings enough emotion in you that you're going to stick to it. You know, that's awesome.
That's all. I stopped there.
I got a tissue for you. Here you go.
I'm using my sleeve like a kid.
I had that same kind of upbringing, Kaylee. Like I wasn't teased for being too skinny, but my mom was always on a diet, always. And so as a kid, it was a thing. And I had, you know, problems with eating in high school, like, cause I didn't understand what was healthy and what wasn't. And so I'm the same way, like with my kids, I try to, you know, when I'm eating healthy, I never use the word diet. I don't feel like it's a diet. I'm just trying, I like to eat healthy food for the most part, you know what I mean? So I totally hear you because I had that same kind of thing as a kid, and it's not fun to have to go through, and you don't want that for your kids. And I don't think you will. So, all right, Christy or Melissa, if you want to share, you can. If you don't want to, that's cool too. We're good? Okay. All right, so this is just kind of a thought to ponder. Past attempts on this particular goal or goals, or wouldn't it be cool if ideas, whatever you want to call it. Have you tried, just kind of think about and ponder, have you ever tried it and fallen short with it? Had a difficult time with it? And then I want you, if you have, think about it. This might be something to take some journaling time to. What went wrong before, and how would you look at things differently this time? So if it's health and fitness, which we've all been down that road, what didn't go right? And usually it's a mindset thing, just kind of like what Kaylee hit on. I think if she focused on that why, that's going to straighten up all the other things. If she stays on that focus of, my purpose is to create a really healthy mindset for myself and for future children down the road, so they don't have to go through some of the things that you may have experienced, the bullying and things like that. That's going to be powerful enough for you to stay focused on what you want to do. So when you think about it, consider what are some things that didn't work for you. Was it the way you spoke to yourself? Was it someone made a negative comment and you really let it go to heart? Was it maybe you focused too much on the scale if it's a health and fitness thing? Maybe you listened to a negative comment someone said, those kind of things. So I want you to take some time later on, maybe after the call, and consider what may or may not have worked before. And so now what we're going to do, now that we've kind of narrowed things down, first of all, I want you to recognize that no matter what you've chosen or the things that you're working toward, it's not going to be a perfect road. Okay, so we just have to accept that fact. We have these great ideas and thoughts and dreams. There's going to be insecurity along the way, and that's normal. So that fear, Stephanie, you're talking about there, that you have is normal. When it's not normal is when you're like terrified and you're like, it stunts you. The fear where you're like excited, you would be exhilarated if you're able to accomplish it. That's okay. That's healthy. But it's when it's getting to when it affects your health differently, that's when you kind of have to rethink things. But again, like I said in the beginning, what was the quote? Let me pull up the quote again. Clarity comes from engagement, not thought. Okay? Do the thing. The clarity will come. When you start doing it, Stephanie, you're going to start thinking, oh, this is really cool. Or you're going to be like, this is not for me. That's what's going to end up happening. But anyway, along the way, you're going to have frustration. Expect it. Just, it's going to be normal. So don't make it stop you, from moving in that direction. So now we're going to break it down into steps. SMART goals. Nicole, you like those, right? We're not going to make a real SMART goal, like an actual SMART goal, but it's that kind of idea. So when you want to have a healthier self, Nicole, you talked about that, and Kaylee too. What we want to identify something that's tangible that you're going to focus on first, and we're going to think of your first 3 steps moving in that direction. So maybe it's taking 20 minutes per day reading positive self-development. That's just a thought. It's not that's what you need to do. But if it's mindset related and fitness related, or maybe step 2 is then I'm going to start moving 20 minutes a day, or I'm going to make a focus of this, and then I'm going to eat 4 vegetables a day. I don't know, whatever. Goal related for like Christy's got some business goals. We really need to break those down. I think you need to almost reverse engineer those, Christy. So, and maybe we can kind of have a separate conversation about that. I can help you with that. Reverse engineer it so that you have a real tangible goal that if you're 2-star by Christmas time, we need to break down what's realistic, break down which coaches, who you're going to work with privately, and then what you can do on a month to month, and then break it down like week to week kind of thing. So maybe you and I can like do a separate Zoom this week or something, and we can break that all down, because I'd like to do that for myself too. But so that you know exactly what you're doing, because sometimes when we pick a big goal, it's like, okay, I'm going in that direction. But if you break it down a little bit, then you're going to be, okay, I got this reached. Next step, this reached. Okay. So let's do this. Let's take about 3 or 4 minutes. Maybe we probably won't even need that much, but I want you guys to look at your top goal or goals. If there's a couple that you're doing at the same time, that's fine, because there's some that we can't do at the same time. And identify 3 steps that you can logistically start taking in the next week to 2 weeks to get the needle moving in that direction. Now, keep in mind, I really want to preface with like the health and fitness stuff. I want mindset to be a part of it, because this cannot be like I don't want this to be a fad. We're looking at lifestyle changes. We want it to be a whole body experience when we're talking about health and fitness stuff. You guys already know that, but just kind of put that out there. Okay, so take a few minutes. Oh my God. The dog scared me. All right. I'll share mine first. These are steps I'm going to start taking. My goal is paying off all our debt. Obviously, it's a big goal. I still have credit cards. I have a vehicle, and I have student loans, and I have our house. But I'd like to get the other things minus the house. The house will be taken care of in 12 more years. But so I want to make a very specific plan to pay off our debt. I like doing that kind of stuff. So like doing a spreadsheet, and I've already started one, but I want to finish it so that it maps out exactly when I pay off things. Number 2, I want to do the reverse engineering call with Christy, because that's so I can reverse engineer my business. So I not only want to like reduce debt, I want to, pay off debt, but I also want to increase income. And then I want to create a daily action list that I can do, which I've done for Beachbody before, but life changes, things are changing with school and working from home and not working from home. I don't know what's going on. I'll find out tonight or tomorrow. That will make a difference. That will change my daily to-do list. So those are the 3 action items I'm going to commit to doing in the next, like, I'll start doing them right away. So, all right, who's next? You're committing to these.
I'll go.
All right, cool.
Is participate in Complete Life Coach, part 2. Focus on my important lists and think about and be aware of I can statements and mindset.
Beautiful. And what will help you stay focused on those I can statements in your mindset? What are some tangible things that you'll be able to do?
I'm very aware of the mindset from before.
Okay.
Thinking about it every morning, usually on the way to work, about the kind of day I'm going to have.
Okay.
What I want to. And I made, out of perler beads today with the students, I made a I can square with different colors, and I set it right by my area that I work in currently.
Cool. So that's tangible. Like on the way to work, you're thinking about what kind of day you're going to have. Maybe on the way home, think about things that went well. You know what I mean? Those are tangible things you can do. Things like that. So maybe
and gratitude journal, right?
And journal. Yeah, that's tangible, and you're committing to that. And you've made a lot of change already. So it's also recognizing like you're not at square one right now. You've made tons of progress. So that's also important to recognize. All right, what are 3 steps? Christy Bugsfing, what are 3 steps you're taking?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So I kind of lumped them together. So like 5 invites a day, 2 coach invites a week. Those were kind of my invites. And then I said, these two I lumped together, at least one coach business post a week,
Okay.
and share more about coaching in my stories.
Awesome.
And then I like the daily action list. I need to get more one that's like that I create.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Because if you create it, you'll be more likely to follow through with it. So I think that would be really good. And to get organized with the, you know, put it in your planner somewhere so that you know that you're doing it. You know what I mean? Instead of it being like, okay, I'll make sure I get 5 done a day, whatever.
Yep.
You know, maybe it's put on your daily list. That's a good idea. All right, cool. All right. Stephanie, what's your 3 action items?
I kind of did 2 different things because I think some of them can be. So I did the women's retreat, and then I also did healthy weight.
Cool.
So one for both of them is 15 minutes of like personal development mindset stuff a day.
Perfect.
Oops. And then the easy one is the healthy. So I need to increase my water to like 90 ounces per day at least. And I need to do dinner and done.
Dinner and done.
Dinner and done.
I know. It makes a big difference.
For the women's retreat stuff, I have like kind of bigger ones, but I kind of almost like what you did better. So I have 5, but then I can work from there. But I said pick a tentative date or time frame. That's like a super easy little look at the calendar, figure it out. And then research venues I put, but then I like the idea of doing a daily action list, like figuring out like bigger what that looks like. And then doing some sort of.
Sorry, go ahead.
What's that?
I was just saying you can almost reverse engineer like the big what you need to do and then breaking it down.
That's exactly what I wrote.
Yeah.
Daily action list and reverse engineer. That was the next thing I was going to say. Get out of my head.
You'll feel accomplished by moving the needle every day and crossing those things off, you know. At least that's how I am when I check off things and cross them off.
Yeah. Yeah, when you have to write something down and then check it off too. That's me.
Yeah. I love it. That's great. All right, cool. Kaylee, how about you?
I did 2. I did one for like my health and then one for the business. So for my health one, I did work out every day, or basically just follow the program I'm doing, so that it becomes a habit, and spend 20 minutes each day. Probably, I think I'm going to do it after I take my Energize while I'm waiting for that to kick in. Then either listen or read personal development or devotional sometimes help me too. And then try to drink 100 ounces of water every day. And then the business side, I'm really bad at posting. I'm okay with my Instagram stories, but I'm terrible at actually making a post. So make at least 1 post a day, and then start 3 conversations each day so that eventually I can do 3 to 5 invites each day.
Perfect. Perfect. So those conversations will start in to get the ball rolling. Okay.
Yeah, so I figured as soon as I start the conversations and have like a weekend, then they can become my follow-ups later.
Right. They're not like cold. Okay.
Yeah.
You guys, you've got to get this bottle.
That thing cracks me up.
This thing is, I drank all the way down to here. It's 100.
What's in that?
Well, I have Energize at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
I don't always use it right before workout. I like it. This is 128 ounces. I didn't put Energize in until I was down to here, though. I didn't like fill the thing up with Energize.
Right.
I fill it up first thing in the morning. I'm telling you, I've been doing it for 4 days, and I've been drinking it, and my weight shifted. Like I dropped 2 pounds. Like.
Does it get warm though?
I put tons of ice cubes in it. It's like.
Oh, okay.
Not.
Because I like it. I don't like it icy. Yeah. All right. I guess I could figure it out
today, but it's like a mental thing. I'm telling you, this was amazing. Amazon was $19.99. Well, I got it as a present from a friend, which is really bizarre because I put it in my Amazon cart on Tuesday, and I went out with my friend on Wednesday. She bought it for me as a gift. I was like, that was so weird. And I showed her. I was like, it was in my cart. I was gonna buy it. I was waiting to Thursday payday, like $20, but still, I was like waiting, and it was just so weird. Anyway.
I do have an Amazon gift card I need to spend on something.
Oh, this was the greatest thing ever. I love it. So anyway, I'm weird like that. All right, Melissa, what's your 3 action items? Bless you.
Bless you. So my my goal is health and fitness, which is to lose 80 pounds. So my first goal, because I'm terrible at doing this, is to actually read or journal for at least 10 minutes every day, so that I can keep focusing on that positive. It'll probably be in the evening because I get sucked into like mindless TV watching. So I need to refine my nutrition because I will plan out the week, but then it sometimes just falls flat at that point, and I don't want to eat what I have. So having that mindset too will obviously help with that.
Yeah.
And then being more consistent with my workouts, because the weekends for me are terrible. During the week, I'm good because it's, I get up and I work out and I work, and it's the weekends that I'm like, I don't wanna. So keeping it consistent through the week, staying on some sort of schedule through the weekend, I think will help keep that a little bit better.
Awesome. So for the nutrition part, what's like the one thing that you need to focus on? What's the biggest area that could tighten up with that?
Honestly, I think just actually eating all of like my stuff, because I use the containers, but like today I didn't have my shake until 9:30, so then that threw everything off. So I'm skipping, snacks and whatever. And then at the end of the day, I'm starving. And then if I need to work out in the end of the day, I won't because I'm hungry.
Right.
So
you got to get those containers in.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Because it does kick in the butt at the end. All right, cool. All right. So those list of things, commit to it. All right. So the action is starting now. Even I know some of you have already started the actions, but we're really committing to it. You're zeroed in on it. Okay. I hope you are, on what your focus is, and not an obsession type way, but in a way where you know what you want and it feels good to be able to move the needle. I just want you guys to be aware of procrastination is often disguised as planning and research. We've all been guilty of that. So procrastination, usually, we hide it by saying, well, I'm still planning it out, or I'm still doing this. Action. Remember, action is where it's at. Sometimes getting skin in the game can be really helpful. The money piece, not that you have to go pay money to go do something, but sometimes when you're like, I know with Beachbody stuff, when I first started and I put the money into Shakeology, I was like, I sure as heck am not going to waste my money. Or when I did Ultimate Reset, I was like, man, I bought the whole package. It was like $200 and some odd. I was like, I am not wasting this money. So it made me do it. So that piece of it. And value, make sure you're valuing growth and learning over comfort and certainty. So sometimes that discomfort is going to be normal, where you're like, recognize that you're focusing on growth and learning and that deep why. If you didn't peel the onion enough, keep doing the why thing. Why is this important? Why is this important? But why is this important? Keep going until it's so deep where you're like, oh, I've got to do this. That it's not just a surface why. It's like, oh, there's deep down reasons why. And I think you guys started getting to that point. I can see some of you guys were, I think if you did it for about 10 more minutes, you really get some good purpose. Kaylee really got to a good why. Nicole was starting to get into a good why. So let's keep moving that needle forward. So there's no assignment for the week because we did it on this call. Your assignment is to do your actions. Okay. Remember, action, you start before you're ready, you do it, and then you're going to feel like $1 million bucks. So next week on our call, I'll be like, so tell me about your actions. All right. So be ready to like share that. If you're not on the call, I'll be talking to you privately. So tell me how it went. How did it go? So you're committing to those things. It's not going to be perfect. Don't beat yourself up if things don't go perfect though. So I don't want this to be like, oh my gosh, I didn't do it right. Don't worry about it, but just keep your eye focused on the things that are good for you and growing in a good way. So any last comments for the good of the call? We went a little bit long. I'm sorry about that because I know it's getting kind of late. We're good. Okay. Well, thanks for coming on and being good sports about doing this in front of each other. and sharing your goals and getting, hopefully this has helped a little bit of clarity for you. Yeah, so I'm excited to see how things go for you guys. All right, girls. Well, you guys have a good night. I'm gonna go see what Brady's doing. He's taken off with my phone, so. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon in the group, okay?
All right.
All right, bye. Have a good night.
Thanks.
Yep, no problem.